The Fantasia International Film Festival is not only about showcasing the best new works of genre. From the beginning, it has consistently found the time to tribute and highlight forgotten and unappreciated regions of genre cinema. Playing as part of a feature film spotlight entitled House of Psychotic Women, Andrei Zulawski's 1981 cult film Possession will be gracing the screen during the festival. Here are 5 reasons to check it out. 1. Upon its initial American release, the film, as reviewed in the New York Times by Vincent Canby, described the film by saying, "It is an intellectual horror film. That means it's a movie that contains a certain amount of unseemly gore and makes no sense whatsoever." He didn't mean it as a compliment, but it is one.
What is it?
2. It exemplifies the cinematic equivalent of hysteria, as presented by Deleuze in his book on Francis Bacon, The Logic of Sensation. For those unfamiliar with the works of Bacon, he explored 2 main themes in his paintings: the crucifixion and the scream.
But don't you come any closer! Banner, it's me!
Deleuze highlighted him as a visual artist who exemplifies the tension between the confinement of the human form, the desire through art to overcome it, and finally, the image's inability to divorce itself from the flesh. Adjani's performance is a living, breathing embodiment of this conflict. Francis Bacon is also one of the biggest influences on David Lynch. 3. Though Isabelle Adjani won an award at Cannes for her performance in the film, she has always maintained that it was her most difficult performance and she would never reprise a similar one again. Watching the film, one can understand how emotionally and physically draining it must have been. There is no moment of rest in her being. Even when her body is still, her eyes and mind seem to be running in all directions. Four, interspecies copulation. Not one to be satisfied by the breaking of usual sexual taboos, Zulawski seems to point to the true reality of Captain Kirk's interspecies philandering by depicting it as gruesome and primal. Your mind will reject it as strongly as it rejects a poorly conceived computer-generated image of a human face. This is another level of uncanny that somehow manages to be more upsetting than filmmakers who set it specifically to break cinematic conventions relating to sex. 5. Finally, who doesn't like to defy the man and check out a work of art that was banned? Though this can often lead to disappointment, as the banning of any work of art is often arbitrary, and due to an escalating permissiveness when it comes to the depiction of sex and violence on screen, the rulings usually seem quaint. Though not part of the group of video nasties that could potentially lead to fines and jail time, Possession was only released uncut in the UK in 1999, over 15 years after its initial release. Though the film's depiction of violence and bodily functions is not necessarily on par with films like Cannibal Holocaust, matched with the film's tone, the movie feels like a literal assault on your sanity, which no doubt contributed to the film's banning.